Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us on this webinar. The title of our webinar is Implementing a Computer Data System, the Human Side, and we are happy to have Dr. Wayman with us here today to share his knowledge and expertise. Before we start, however, with that presentation, I wanted to talk for just a minute about the Regional Education Laboratory Program. This webinar is being provided through that program. If you can see on this map that's on the slide, there are 10 regional education laboratories across the country. And since we know that we have folks participating from across the country, you can check this map to see education laboratories. The purpose of the Regional Lab Program is to bring together policy, research, and practice. Our primary goal is to improve academic outcomes for students, of course, but we do this by helping states and districts systematically use research and data to answer important issues of practice and policy that they're facing. And then the regional laboratories partner with districts and state departments of education, policymakers, and other people who are interested in high priority topics in the region to conduct research and to build capacity in using data to improve academic outcomes. In addition, we provide technical assistance related to the collection, analysis, and interpretation of data and evidence, and we connect education researchers with practitioners through bridge events like this one. We do our work in partnership with what we call research alliances. And in the Regional Laboratory Southwest, we have 6 of these alliances. In Arkansas, we have a pre-kindergarten alliance. In Louisiana, we have an alliance focused on charter schools. In New Mexico, we have the Achievement Gap Alliance and also another pre-kindergarten alliance. In Oklahoma, our research alliance is focused on rural schools, and in Texas, our alliance is focused on Hispanic STEM. You can find out more about these alliances and our work with them, as well as ask the question of the Regional Laboratory Southwest on our website. We share our work, and we have some resources available for you there. And you can also subscribe to our Regional Education Laboratory Southwest Spotlight. It's an e-bulletin. And we also archive events such as this bridge event on that website. So if you want to come back to this later, you may do that after the archive is posted. And there are other bridge events that we've held in the past that are on that website as well.